Shalom. All praises, honors, and glory to YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, Kwadash. Double honors to my elders, the apostles of Greatmillstone. Those are the men that taught me the truth of the Bible. And YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, Kwadash, Brakatham, to the elect of Israel that scattered across the four corners of the globe. So today we're looking at an article from www.presstv.com, and it's concerning India and the United States. Okay, so it says India will not follow U.S. sanctions on Iran. FM Swaraj. Okay, now we're reading about India and we're reading about the United States. Now, India, or you East Indians, your nationality according to the Bible, you go back to the Elamites, okay, the children of Elam. And of course, you know, we're reading about the United States in this context, we're reading about the Edomites, okay, the Edomites being you so-called white people that are ruling here on earth, okay, America being your stronghold in the earth, if you will. Okay, so those are the two nations that we're reading about, and of course this is all leading up to the topic of World War III, okay, the prophecy I should say of World War III, okay, because that's the time that we're entering into. Now, you know, I'm not going to read the whole article, but, you know, as I was reading this, what caught my attention was really the comments that were left behind below in the article. So that's going to be the main focus of this lesson, and, you know, Lord willing, it's edifying, because what I read in the comment section below basically aligns with biblical prophecy, and that's what I want to bring out here in this lesson. So I'll read it one more time. It says, India will not follow U.S. sanctions on Iran. Okay, and they have a picture of Iran's foreign minister, Mohammed Javad Zarif here. Okay, again, you know, the Iranians, you would be the Persians of the Bible, okay? And you know, he's got his counterpart, his Indian counterpart, Sushma Swaraj, okay? So it goes on to say, India's foreign minister, Sushma Swaraj, says New Delhi will keep trading with Iran and will only follow sanctions imposed by the United Nations and not those imposed by any other country, such as the United States, against the Islamic Republic. Speaking at a news conference on Monday, Swaraj added that her country's position was independent of any other country and will not make foreign policy under pressure. India follows only UN sanctions and not unilateral sanctions by any country, she said when asked about New Delhi's response to the US decision to withdraw from a 2015 key nuclear agreement and reimpose sanctions against Iran. Because basically what's happening right now is that you've got the United States, they don't like the fact that Iran is becoming a superpower, okay, and they don't like the fact that Iran has got nukes, okay, and you know, we should all know by now that Iran's how can I put it, Iran's stand or stance, okay, concerning the United States, okay, concerning you Edomites, they wanna bomb this place, man. They wanna bomb America, right? They wanna make America desolate, right? And that's all according to the judgment of YAHAWASHI, okay? Now we reason to say, U.S. President Donald Trump announced on May 8th that Washington was walking away from the nuclear agreement, officially known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, which was reached between Iran and the 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council, the US, Britain, France, Russia, China, plus Germany. All right. Now, when you read about the United States, Britain, France, okay, those are alliances right there. That goes into NATO and the EU, okay, which forms this new revised Roman Empire. Now, it goes on to say, Trump also said he would reinstate U.S. nuclear sanctions on Iran, suspended under the nuclear accord, and impose the highest level of economic bans on the Islamic Republic. You know, and what we're reading about here regarding, you know, President Donald Trump, okay, the Edomite, you know, the king of Babylon, you know, him imposing the highest level of economic bans on the Islamic Republic, okay, i.e. Iran. Basically, that goes hand in hand with what we read about, what's that, in Isaiah the 14th chapter, okay, which, you know, I'm going to get that, I'm going to line that up real quick. But before we break down that scripture, I actually want to go back to that article, and I want to go to the comment section, okay. Now, again, you know, I'm not going to read this whole article. You brothers can go to the link in the description box and read it for yourselves. But I want to deal with these comments here, okay? Now, upon reading these comments, the first comment that really grabbed my attention was this here by the individual Time Bomb, okay? And this was posted like an hour ago. It says, the US, who at one time could have get any support or could have got any support it wanted for its own interest, is now over. It's game over big time, right? And as you can see, this is the sentiment of the people out there, man, right? Not only are us, the prophets of the Lord, saying the same thing, but you got, ordinary people out there that are seeing the downfall of America, man, right? And this, aligns with biblical prophecy, because when we go to Isaiah 47 and 1, we read about the downfall of, the virgin daughter of Babylon, man, right? Which is talking about America. So this is Isaiah 47 verse 1. It says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne. Okay, and this is basically a vision that the prophet Isaiah saw in the days of old concerning this place that is America, right? And the downfall of America. Okay, I'll read it one more time. It says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Okay, and this is how we know that it's speaking about a new Babylon. Okay, virgin daughter of Babylon. The reason why this place that is America is known as virgin daughter of Babylon is because America hasn't gone through no major wars, man. Right? No nukes have hit America. You've had a few skirmishes on the land of America, concerning the Revolutionary Wars and all that, but there's not really been no major wars that have taken place on the soil of America, right? And of course, America hasn't been bombed, okay? So that's why this place is known as Virgin Daughter of Babylon, okay? Meaning what? It hasn't been popped yet, metaphorically, if you will, all right? And Babylon, again, Babylon goes back to the Hebrew word babal, which means confusion, and that's what this place is, man, all right? America is nothing but confusion, okay? A cesspool of confusion, right? Confusion of the law, statutes, and commandments of YAHAWASHI, confusion of the various different nations that dwell here in America, and the confusion of us Israelites, okay? Mainly, 2/3 of our people, mainly 2/3 of you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans that actually are Israelites. You're in a confused state of mind, okay, concerning who you are as a people and concerning this Holy Bible. And that's why this place is known as Babylon the Great, okay? So I read it again. It says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. And again, I should add that, ancient Babylon is actually out there in the land of Iraq today, okay? Modern day Iraq. That's ancient Babylon right there, okay? It says, there is no throne, okay? Now, a throne represents rulership, okay? And we're basically coming to the end of Esau Edom's rulership, okay? Esau Edom being so-called white people, okay? And how do we know that? Because when we go to 2nd Ezra 6 and 9, it says that Esau is the end of the world, okay? And we're living at the end of Esau's rulership, because the end of the world in that particular scripture is, going into the Greek word eon, right? Which means an age or a time period or a rulership, okay? And that's the time that we're living in right now, the end of Esau's rulership, okay? Esau being on the throne, we're coming to the end of that period, man, right? The end of you so-called white people dominating the world, man, dominating the various different nations. And that's why it says there is no throne, right? And that, lines beautifully with what we're reading here in this comment section. So I'll read it again. It says, the US, who at one time could have get or got any support it wanted for its own interest, is now over. It's game over big time. And after making almost the whole world their enemy for Israel's sake, which, this guy is actually referring to, the state of Israel, right? Them Israelis, the fake Jews. That's who he's referring to, but I guess he's just being facetious here. I'll read it again one more time. It says, and after making almost the whole world their enemy for Israel's sake, who are they now going to turn to for support? Which this individual is correct, man, all right? Because that goes hand in hand with biblical prophecy, because when we go to Revelation 17 and 16, we read about how America's allies are going to turn against them, all right? And they're going to hate America, and they're going to destroy America, all right? And pardon me, I was in Revelation 16, but the point is in Revelation 17 and 16, okay? So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 16, right? And again, this is a vision that the disciple, the apostle, the prophet, right? The apostle John, the disciple of our Lord and Savior YAHAWASHI, who the world even called Jesus Christ. This is the apostle John on the Isle of Patmos 2,000 years ago, on the salt mines, receiving a vision of World War III. All right, and he's basically seen the vision of these various different EU, NATO countries, okay, the European countries, destroying America. All right, and that's what we're going to read about. So this is Revelation 17, verse 16. It says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore." All right, now when we read about the beast is referring to this new revised Roman Empire, okay, which comes in form of NATO and the EU, right? And the 10 horns is referring to, the first 10 European countries that formed NATO and the EU, man, such as France, Italy, Netherlands, Belgium. Who else is there now? Luxembourg, West Germany, Denmark, United Kingdom, Greece, Spain, right? Those are the first few countries that, basically joined NATO and the EU, man, right? And that's what's being mentioned here by the 10 horns, okay? These various different European countries, man. These various different European countries that joined the EU and NATO, man, right? So it says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore," man, all right? And we're seeing evidence of that in the news, man. Because if we was to go to Google right now and type in let me see, France, US, sanctions. Let's see what comes up, man. Right? We're gonna see evidence of these 10 horns beginning to hate the whore, man, for what America is doing, regarding the Middle East situation, the situation that's going on out there in Iran right now. Let me see. All right, so yeah, look right here. Perfect example. It says, "Here's a list of European companies operating in Iran in face of US sanctions." All right, now again, bear in mind that we just read Revelation 17 and 16, and it said something to the effect that the 10 horns which thou sawest on the beast, these shall hate the whore. Okay, now again, the 10 horns are referring to these European countries, right? These European companies, right? And again, that whore is referring to America. Okay, so what we're going to read here in this article from Sputnik News is basically going into that. Okay. So let's get it. This is Sputnik News, and the headline, it says, "Here's a list of European companies operating in Iran in face of US sanctions." Okay, and ultimately, all these European companies, these European countries, they're gonna ultimately, hate the whole America, man. All right. It goes on to say, "Despite President Donald Trump's withdrawal from the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, also known as the Iran nuclear deal, his European allies are reluctant to follow his lead, reaffirming their commitment to the agreement instead." Okay, which I have to get this now, because it says what does it say in Obadiah, the seventh verse, man? Okay, concerning America's allies, Obadiah verse 7. Yep, this is Obadiah. Which again, the book of Obadiah is concerning the condemnation of Esau, Edom, you so-called white people, the Edomites, right? This is concerning your downfall. This is Obadiah verse 7. It says, "All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border," right? Now the confederacy is going into Esau, Edom's alliances, okay? Esau, Edom, beginning with the United States, and their so-called allies being the European Union, okay, and the various different countries within NATO, okay. That's that confederacy, right? Okay, and I read it one more time. It says, "All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border of war. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee," all right? So the alliances that are at peace with America right now, whether it be any of these countries within NATO and the EU, or even countries outside of NATO and the EU, you know, such as this Kim Jong-un character, you know, because they're talking about peace talks right now. It says, the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. All right. So all these various different countries within the EU, again, going into those 10 horns that we read about in Revelation 17 and 16, they're going to prevail against America, man. All right. In the coming World War III, it says, they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is no understanding in him. Yeah, there's no understanding in Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, right? Beginning with the elites. There's no understanding in them because they believe this World War III is going to benefit them, right? But it's not. It's going to be their destruction. Okay, so you know, that was basically the point. You know, that was basically the point there. You know, now we can go back to what's that? Revelation, man. All right, Revelation 17 and 16. You know, because we hit the point there, man. This is how the 10 horns, which are these various different European countries, are going to hate, you know, the whore, man. All right, the whore being America. So let's read it again. This is Revelation 17 verse 16. It says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. All right, and how these various different countries, you know, within the EU and NATO, how they're going to make America, which is the whore, desolate. They're going to make her desolate by way of these ICBMs, okay, by way of these intercontinental ballistic missiles, okay. And let's read verse 17. It says, for the Most High have put it in their hearts to fulfill his will, all right. And this is the will of YAHAWASHI, to destroy Babylon the Great, all right, virgin daughter of Babylon, America. It says, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of the Most High, YAHAWASHI, be fulfilled, okay. So that's that with that. But going back to that, going back to this this comment here, it should make sense now. It says, and after making almost the whole world their enemy for Israel's sake, who are they now going to turn to for support? Israel, maybe, right? Which again, that should remind us of, you know, Obadiah, the 7th verse. You know, all the men of thy confederacy have deceived thee, right? So let's go to the next comment here from Springflower, which is posted an hour ago. It says, good for India. Iran is now a superpower Muslim country, and by conduct it has earned the place of respect and leadership of the Muslim nations, right? And again, this goes hand in hand with biblical prophecy, man. You know, Joel 3 verse 10, let the weak say that I am strong, right? So that's what's taking place right now, right? You've got weaker countries such as North Korea and Iran, India, you know, as we're reading in this article here, they're taking a stance against America, man, all right? Now they're standing up to the bully, if you will, right now, okay? It goes on to say in this comment, USA by conduct has become a great problem of the planet. Again, Jeremiah, you know, that leads us straight to Jeremiah, the 51st chapter, man, right? I believe around the 7th verse. You know, yep, this is Jeremiah 51 verse 7. It says, Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord YAHAWASHI's hand, okay? And that's true, man, all right? Again, this Babylon is referring to America, right? The golden cup, that basically denotes the splendor, the riches, you know, of, you know, the United States, you know, what the United States once had, okay? And the Lord's hand, that's referring to the power of YAHAWASHI, okay? Because it was YAHAWASHI that put these Edomites, okay? These Edomites, you know, it was the Lord that gave them this power, man, okay? To rule the earth in wickedness. It goes on to say that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, which the wine is going to, you know, America's philosophies, America's democracy, if you will, right? And it says, therefore the nations are mad, right? And these various different nations are mad, right? These various different nations around the world, be it North Korea, right, which is deceiving America right now, you know, talking about their peace talks. There ain't gonna be no peace talks, man. All right, America's gonna be destroyed by all these heathen nations, man, that are around the world. Again, North Korea being at the helm of that, okay? But as I was saying, these various different nations around the world, they hate America, man, right? Again, nations such as North Korea, Iran, okay, Russia, which, you know, you Russians, you're Edomites, but, you know, we know, you know, how the Heavenly Father, YAHAWASHI, said what in Isaiah 19 about how he's going to set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. So, we know what that's all about. But again, the point is that, the nations are mad. They're angry with America, man, right? And they're going to destroy America for all of its wickedness, for, their wicked democracy that they've ran this world with, okay? And that's what we're reading about here. Verse 8, it says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed. And America isn't going to be healed, man. And America is not going to be great again, okay? And it says Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed because what? When we go to Revelation, the 18th chapter, it talks about how America is going to be destroyed in 1 hour, man, all right? By these ICBMs and when YAHAWASHI returns with the holy angels, okay? So that was the point there. Again, we're just going to run through these comments and hit the scriptures, man. So, where was you at? Yeah, we're done with that comment from Springflower. The next comment, and we'll probably end it here, is from David Cooperman. All right, it says, no free nation should follow the dictation of bullying USA. All right, and that's what the United States of America has been. Okay, it's been a bully in this world. All right. And as a matter of fact, that leads us to what I want to get first, which was in Isaiah the 14th chapter. Right, that's where we're going to end this lesson. Right, so this is Isaiah 14, and I guess I'll start at verse 3. All right, it says, and it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord YAHAWAH shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. Okay, and this is a message to the Hebrew Israelites. Okay, the Hebrew Israelites being us so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, we're the children of Israel. We're the Hebrew Israelites that you read about in the Bible. Okay, and what's being said here is to comfort us. Okay, it's speaking about how the Heavenly Father Yahweh and His Son YAHAWASHI is going to deliver us. Okay, He's going to deliver our people from out of our sorrow. Okay, and out of this hard bondage. All right, that we've been serving under these Edomites, okay, primarily here in the Americas, okay, right? So you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, what's coming for you is the kingdom of heaven, man, right? And that's what we're prophesying unto you, man. So, be of good cheer, right? Because YAHAWASHI is going to deliver 1/3 of us Israelites, man, out of this hellhole, okay? So this is verse 4. It says that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, which the king of Babylon would be, your Donald Trump, okay, and, his masters, okay, because Donald Trump is nothing but a puppet, man, all right, and he's been, he's being led by these, these Edomites, man, by these elite Edomites, I should say, names such as the Rothschilds, the Oppenheimers, okay, the Gettys, the DuPonts, right, but the king of Babylon is really going into, Donald Trump, okay, it says that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how have the oppressors ceased, the golden city ceased, all right? And that's what we do when we go out there on the highways and byways, okay? The servants, the prophets, the men of the Lord, beginning with the apostles and the elders and the men of Greatmillstone, we go out there on the highways and byways, right? And we condemn Esau, Edom to his face, okay? Letting them know how his kingdom is coming to an end, okay? Telling him how, his kingdom is going to be destroyed by these thermonuclear missiles, right? And when our Lord returns with the angels, right, with the chariots of Israel, that's how we're letting this Edomite know that his city, his rulership is coming to an end, man, right? And again, that golden city is talking about this place that is America, man, right? Because there was a time when America was known as that city that was the streets were paved in gold and whatnot, Verse 5, it says, the Lord Yahweh, YAHAWASHI, have broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers, okay? And the staff, the scepter, that's a representation of the rulership of these Edomites, man, all right? YAHAWASHI is going to break their rulership by way of these thermonuclear missiles, man, okay? Verse 6, and here's the point, going back into that comment, let me just get that again to remind you brothers, that, what we was reading in that comment. From David Cooperman, it says, no free nation should follow the dictation of bullying USA, okay? So this is Isaiah 14 and 6. It says, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth, man. And this is talking about you Edomites, right? Beginning with your elite, right? You smote the people, all right? You smote, mainly the Hebrew Israelites, us so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, by bringing us into captivity, enslaving us, lynching us, raping our women, even raping the men, during the time of slavery, leaving us in these ghettos to rot and die, beating down our people, shooting down our people on the streets, right? That's how you smote, the children of Israel, man. And you've also smote, the other nations, the heathens around the world, okay? Look what's taking place out there in Afghanistan, man. Afghanistan, places like Afghanistan, even Syria right now, you've been smiting these various different nations by dropping bombs on their lands, man, right? That's why it says, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, because you haven't let up. Okay, it says, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth, man. And how is he ruling the nations in anger? By putting sanctions on them, man. Let's go back to this article and read, what did it say? Yeah, going back into this article, it says, Trump also said he would reinstate U.S. nuclear sanctions on Iran, suspended under the nuclear accord, and imposed the highest level of economic bans on the Islamic Republic, man. All right, and that's how he's ruled the nations in anger, man. All right, by putting all these various different sanctions on and bans on these various different countries, right? Because that fucks up their economy, man. And let me see. We can read on. This is verse 7. It says, the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing, right? And this is really a future vision that Isaiah is seeing here, because the whole earth isn't yet at rest. The whole earth is going to be at rest when YAHAWASHI finally destroys Esau, Edom, all right? Finally destroys this place that is America, and finally puts these Edomites into captivity. That's when the whole earth is going to be at rest, man, all right? Reading on, it says, yeah, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fellow is come up against us, all right? And this is a twofold scripture here, because on one hand, this is literally speaking about these various different trees. They're going to be rejoicing in the spirit, because these Edomites aren't going to be chopping down the trees no more, man. When these Edomites are in captivity, ain't going to be no more lumberjacks chopping down trees and whatnot. That's going to be done away with, man. But in a wider sense, this is going into the various different other nations, man. All right, because the nations are also referred to as trees when we go to what I believe is the book of Ezekiel, the 36th chapter, and also you can find the metaphor of the nations being trees in if I'm not mistaken, Genesis. What's that? I believe the 3rd chapter, if I'm not mistaken, right? But I don't want to go too deep with that. But again, the trees is referring to the heathen nations, man. All right, the different nations, because once Esau is put down, these different nations, even though they're going to be in captivity under the Israelites, it's going to be a righteous captivity, man. Okay, and then after their 1,000 years of hardcore slavery, they're going to inherit their own lands, and they're going to be they're going to be living according to the laws of YAHAWASHI, man. Okay, and the whole earth is going to be at rest. Okay, so I'm going to end this lesson real quick, but I'm just going to read these last two scriptures, verse 9 and verse 10, and then end it. It says, hell from beneath is moved to meet thee. At thy comment it stirreth up the dead for thee, even the chief ones of the earth, which that's going into these various different presidents of these heathen nations. Okay, right, and the hell that's being spoken about here, that's talking about the destruction and slavery that's coming to Esau, Edom. It says, it have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. Verse 10, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? All right, and that's what these various different nations are saying, man. All right, in the spirit. And that's why India right now is not having it from America. I read this title again. It says, India will not follow U.S. sanctions on Iran. Okay, because India right now, they've had enough of Americans' ways, if you will. Okay, and they see America as weak as them. And basically this is all going to lead to World War III, all right? So I'm going to end the lesson there by giving all praises, honors, and glory to YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI. Double honors to my elders, the apostles of Greatmillstone, and YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, Rakah, Kodash, Brakatham, to the elect of Israel. Shalom.